Hello, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a small stained glass window project. We'll be using a piece of construction paper, and I will also be using a blank paper. This is basically just to show you what I'm going to draw, because it's going to be pretty hard for you to see what the drawing is on this black piece of construction paper. So this is just for reference. We're not going to really do much with it. We will also be using a foam board, but the foam board is really for no other purpose than just to not cut into the table with an X-Acto knife. We will be using an X-Acto knife, a metal ruler, a little brush, some scissors, tissue paper. I got this variety pack because it has multiple colors. You'll see what we'll be using this for. Then we will use the pencil for drawing, a glue stick, an eraser, and a compass. This is just to draw a circle for the thing that I'm gonna be cutting out. You don't necessarily need a compass, but it makes it easier for me to do this little project, so I'm gonna use that today. Okay, we will begin the project by first taking our construction paper, and we're gonna fold it in half. So by doing so, we basically have it like that. And then we're gonna fold it again. So we have that. We're gonna cut it in half. Because what we really want is this. This is what we really want, okay? And you can make this as big as you want. Right now, this is the only reason I made this kind of small, is because I don't want the project to be too big. But once you see what's gonna go on with this, you can basically make it whatever size you want. I made some that have been maybe poster size for my wife and my kids. But so we'll be using only this part right here to draw and to cut out. Now we'll get the white paper. I'm gonna fold this in half. And the reason why I'm folding this in half is basically because I'm gonna make it the same size of my little project that I have for you guys. And this is just for you guys to see what is going on, okay? This project is just for you guys to see what's going on. This little white page here. Here we go. So this is a white piece of paper that's folded in half, and this is going to be our main project right here. It's the same size, so you basically get to see what I'm drawing, okay? We'll begin by first drawing a little circle. I'm going to make the shape of a sun, and this is just for the window project. Just something simple, not too complicated. So I'm going to be using my compass to draw the circle of the sun. You see, a little circle. That's the only reason I was using the compass. And then we'll be drawing fire. You know, just something that makes it look like the sun. Doesn't have to be too elaborate. You guys are probably better at drawing fire than I am. This is just to show you how I'm gonna do the little cutout. I've already drawn the little thing that's basically what's gonna go on this little black piece of paper. Right now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna measure 1/2 inch into the paper on both sides. And then 1/2 inch on this side. An inch on this side. And the reason I'm doing 1/2 inch, it could actually be bigger or smaller, is just to mark out the window project. Call it a stained glass window, so it might as well be a window, right? So this is the border of the window that we're actually drawing. I'm using 1/2 inch as my reference. Okay? There we go. You see? That's the frame of the window that we're going to be cutting out. Now, I'm going to go right here in the middle and I'm going to connect the little sides of the window to the sun. Maybe, because it's a small project, I think I'm going to maybe do it about 1/8 to 3/16, just to have something hold the actual little frame of the sun. You'll see what I mean by holding the frame of the sun here in a little while. We'll be drawing some little clouds just to make it a little interesting. And you see, here we have what our little stained glass window is going to look like when it's done, when the cutout and everything is going to be done. What we will be doing is we'll be cutting this out, we'll be cutting this out, we'll be cutting this out, all of that. All of these areas come out, so the work with the X-Acto knife has to be pretty detailed around here, depending on how much detail you want on there. We're going to be cutting this out. We're going to be cutting all of this out, and so when you cut it out, you got to put enough pressure to where it's going to cut the second piece of the construction paper. So we'll be cutting these sections out right there, and right here I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw like little one-eighth inch little sections. And the reason for this is because we're going to add a different color of construction paper here in these areas to make it the stained glass look. And the construction paper needs a place where you're going to actually use the glue. The other areas we're going to cut out are these. All of these areas with the X are going to be cut out. We're also going to be cutting this out. I don't know if you can already see it visually in your mind, what's it gonna look like, but this is what I'm gonna draw on this paper, and then I'm gonna be cutting it out with the X-Acto knife to produce the stained glass little project that we're gonna do today. Okay, now I've just drawn the little sun and the little clouds on the construction paper. We're gonna go and start cutting this out with the X-Acto knife. Let's start with the outside window. One of the little corners, one of the little quadrants. It doesn't have to be too perfect. It takes practice to get really detailed on this thing. And a few cuts as well. You can get cut pretty easy with these X-Acto knives. Here we go. Be gentle trying to take these off, because sometimes you can cut the little sections that are not supposed to be cut out. But basically you're cutting both the front and the back part. That's how the little sections cut out look. And this is how it begins to look when you start cutting it out. We'll finish cutting out the rest of these sections and you'll see the finished project in a short little while. I'm going to cut out the little cloud here so that you could see those little 1/8 little areas that I put on the white paper. You can see what those are for. Okay, this is just to show you. I haven't finished yet, but you see these little sections right here? The reason why you put that 1/8 is because this is where you're going to put glue on the inside and basically put the colored tissue paper that you want in between. Okay, right now I'm getting close to finishing
the cut here. And you'll see exactly what I mean. You got to be very careful when you draw something, because it's very easy to cut through your little project. All right, here we go. So this is the last piece of my little cut, and this is my little project fully cut out. I added my own little touch right there in the middle. So you'll see when I'm done, this is how it's supposed to look. You see, you got both sides cut out. Now the purpose of the little window things, as you can see, the ones that I was drawing on this white piece of paper right here, is so that they basically hold the flame of the sun. Now you can choose to be more elaborate and make it bigger to where you can put a different colored tissue paper on the inside. This was a small project, so I decided to leave it in the color of the construction paper, but I think you get the point with this project. That's it, cut out. It took me quite a bit of time. I kind of deleted some of the sections there so that didn't want to bore you too long. But we're gonna start with the tissue paper, and we'll be finishing this hopefully within the next 20-30 minutes, and you'll see how it looks when it's done. Hopefully you like it. Now we're gonna put in the tissue paper. I've taken the liberty of cutting out a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and a little bit of yellow. You can make this as colorful as you want, or you can just keep it simple. I'm just going to keep it simple for the purpose of this project. Now, to begin with here, I need to let you know, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, these little sections that I left here, little sections that are in black, that are cut out, those basically are going to have glue. I'm going to use this to put glue on it, on the areas, on those areas, and they are just basically to glue onto the tissue paper once it's been cut out. You're gonna put the glue on here and make sure that the tissue paper sits on there properly, and you'll do the same thing on this side. Put a little bit of glue and you'll be closing it out once the project is finished. For now, I kept it simple because I don't want to be cutting too many pieces of paper or making this more complex than it should be. So what I'm going to do is basically I will be putting the tissue paper in the center. You see? This is how it looks. And I want to keep this quadrant, I'm going to keep this quadrant, this little piece right here, and this little piece, I'm going to keep them in blue. So I'm going to end up cutting out this section right here, this section, and the center of the sun section. Now you could make it more intriguing if you put different colors, if you want to put a lighter blue on this side, a darker blue on this side, you know. But I don't want to go into that much detail with this project, so I'm just going to make these little quadrants. Since it's going to be the sky, I'm going to keep it the same color. We're going to be cutting out the little clouds and the center of the sun, just to keep it simple for you guys. And what I'm going to do here is basically I'm going to cut out the sun, because that's going to be a different color. So I'm going to draw it in, and then I'm going to cut the clouds. But the clouds, you don't want to cut it on the outside of this thing, you want to cut it on the inside. So we'll basically trace right at the edge. That's where we're gonna cut. And we're gonna just mark it. You're not really cutting this, you're just marking where the borders are. You're just marking where the borders are. we're cutting the little clouds in. Okay. So we'll start cutting this out, and in a little while you'll see how it looks. When you do the clouds, just make sure that you don't cut on the inside, because you need to glue this little thing. That's where the white tissue is actually gonna glue to the little cloud. So I recommend that you actually draw on the outside of the tissue paper. On the outside of the cloud, I mean. You don't need to do this inside, because it's gonna be one solid color. But right here, I'm gonna draw on the outside of this cloud, and when I come to this side, I'm gonna draw on the outside of this cloud and cut it a little longer than it needs to be. And this is just so that, because the reason why is because if you cut it on the inside, then the tissue paper is gonna be too small for you to glue it. So you need to cut it on the outside. Okay, so we've already cut our pieces. Here's my clouds or my sky. Here's my sun. Trash. Here are my little clouds that I'm gonna put on my little project here. We'll begin from the sun section, because it's one of the smallest little pieces, and then we'll go to the clouds, and then we'll put the sky in, because it's the bigger the pieces, and it just makes it easier. So we're gonna start with the sun, and we'll begin by using our little glue. Let's see, let me clean it off real quick. We'll begin by putting a little bit of glue on our brush. And we'll start putting it on the inside of the sun. Next, we'll begin with the clouds, since they're the smallest little pieces. I'll do the smaller one of the two. Make sure you put glue on the little black part that I told you had to cut out, and this is for the purpose of having a little frame for the actual tissue paper, which would be similar to stained glass, which is why I call it a stained glass project. Let's see. Make sure it's on there. Kind of smooth. We'll do the next one. Now you may have seen that I move this little thing. Every time I use the glue, I move it from section to section, and it's because it actually puts glue on there and you don't want your tissue paper to get all, to get all stuck on there. But look, you can already see it coming together. There's the sun. And we'll be ending it by putting in the sky. Now for this one, because it's quite a bit and it's a little more on the outside, we're gonna use this like this. Only for the outside. The inside, I'll still want to use the brush just to keep it clean. Just to keep it clean. Put a little bit of glue on the sun's rays. This is good. This could be a little hard because we might end up breaking these little things that actually hold the sun. So just be gentle. Try not to get too excited like I am right now. I'm about to make a mistake. See? Put a little bit of glue here, there, just to keep it on there. Okay. Now we'll put the little sky on. I'm gonna move it a little bit over here for the purpose of not getting the glue all over the place. And we're gonna try to get this as precise as possible. It's gonna be a little tough for me. Let's see if we can get this done right. See how good we came out here. Let's see. You see? This isn't completely done yet. I still gotta put a little bit more glue. It's just trying to show you guys the process of doing this little thing. Now the last step of the project is we got to put glue on this side, just like we did over here, to basically put the tissue paper on. We got to do the same thing over here. You can be intricate and use this, or if you think you're good enough by just smearing it and not making too much of a mess, do so. And you'll put enough to where you want to actually seal the complete little thing, and then you can hold it up to the light and you can see the light come through. It looks like a little stained glass. So this is basically our project. This is what I was trying to finish off for us. I hope you like it, and I'll put another project together for you guys next time. Thank you.